What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video. Today, it is time that we discuss the 2024 Republican presidential primary. As guys, we have the first major shakeup of the 2024 primary, as Governor Ron DeSantis, for the first time this cycle, made a very smart move. He just fired roughly a dozen staffers in a major campaign shakeup. That is right, everybody. This broke yesterday, and I finally have time to cover it. And we'll be discussing why this happened, and will this really change anything? Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you could join Real American, which helps support the daily content we all know and love. It also helps keep Real American an independent content channel. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody, so let us discuss this major announcement by Team DeSantis. Well, technically not an announcement, but sources are saying that, yeah, Ron DeSantis fired roughly a dozen staffers. Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign has fired roughly a dozen staffers, and more are expected in the coming weeks as he shakes up his big money political operations after less than 2 months on the campaign trail. Yeah, so it's 2 months within his campaign, and he's making a pretty significant move, but let's be real, he had to. I think the ship has sailed for him to have any chance, but I guess it's better late than never to fire some of these people. Because let's be real here, his campaign's been a complete and total disaster. And the people that are around him, I'm just going to say right here, they're the biggest idiots you will ever meet. You talk to some of these people on Twitter, they're delusional. They seriously believe, they believe that Trump is unelectable. For what reason? But meanwhile, they call Trump too liberal on most issues. It's like, what? So he's unelectable because he's too conservative but too liberal at once. Meanwhile, they praise DeSantis for, while I agree with good policy, stuff that is arguably more impactful than what Trump is proposing or pushing, such as banning abortion after 6 weeks, which, again, I support. I personally support that. But Trump's being smarter with the issue, saying the federal ban should be late term. What other states want to do beforehand, that's fine, but federally, there should be a restriction. What's more unelectable? Again, I don't like the argument, but it's like, just think for 5 seconds. Those who were let go were described to NBC News by a source familiar as mid-level staffers across several departments whose departures were related to cutting cost. So it wasn't because they sucked, but because they're running out of money. The exits come after the departures of David Abrams and Tucker Olbensan, veterans of the DeSantis political orbit, which were first reported by Politico. Sources involved with the DeSantis campaign say there's an internal assessment among some that they hired too many staffers too early. And despite bringing in $20 million during its first 6 weeks, it was becoming clear that their costs need to be brought down. Okay, this is not even what? You're not even firing them because they suck. You're firing them because you're running out of money. How many staffers did you get right away, first of all? What do you mean you got too many staffers? What? It's like, what, 500 people? Or what? But the fact that they're firing people because of money, and we're not even 6 weeks into his presidency or whatever, that ain't a good sign. Oh yeah, he raised $20 million, but it's like, if he's having to fire this many mid-level staffers, these aren't some slouches that, you know, they're not like the top of the top apparently, But these are still some high enough people where it's like, that ain't a good sign. Some of DeSantis' political orbit are laying the early blame at the feet of campaign manager Gara Peck, who also led DeSantis' 2022 midterm re-election bid and is on the hot seat right now. But she's not really running the campaign. It's Jeff Rowe. Look up that bozo. I mean, sure, this Peck is technically the one in charge, Gara Peck, excuse me, but technically she's a campaign manager, but when you dig deep into it, it's Jeff Rowe. Go look him up. Go look up his history of winning. You won't see much. She should be, said one DeSantis donor said. They never should have brought so many people on. The burn rate was way too high, said one Republican source familiar with the campaign's thought process. People warned the campaign manager, but she wanted to hear none of it. Yeah, it's not a good sign where you already have to fire people. Many of your donors want your campaign manager, who's realistically not really in charge, to get axed right away, and the donors are begging you to fire these people. Again, it's like, do they seriously believe that they had a free pass to the nomination? Because the only reason I could assume that they hired so many people at once is they seriously thought that Trump was just going to go away. That's my only guess. Because from the sounds of this sounded like a general election campaign for a primary. DeSantis' stock isn't rising, the donor added. 20% is not what people signed up for, and some polling has that at 15% in some states. The person noted that DeSantis had a penchant for switching out staff, which means that he has no core team that has worked together before. DeSantis had 3 different campaign teams for each of his 3 runs for Congress, and notably had a huge campaign shakeup during his first run for governor in 2018. That doesn't sound good, that you have this much instability within your campaign. I know Trump, he did go through a few managers, but that's a little different. You have 3 different, completely different teams within, 6 years? And you have completely different teams now, then, and when you ran for governor just a year ago? It sounds not stable at all. Americans are rallying behind Ron DeSantis and his plan to reverse Biden's failures and restore sanity to our nation. And his momentum will only continue as voters see more of him in person, especially in Iowa. Defeating Joe Biden, the $72 million behind him, will require a nimble and candidate-driven campaign. And we are building a movement to go the distance, the DeSantis campaign spokesperson Andrew Romeo told NBC News. This is a bunch of just crap, campaign speak. Oh, we are rallying behind DeSantis despite him cratering in the polling. I mean, there's a couple polls that Christie's about to pass him in freaking New Hampshire. Remember all those endorsements? Where are they at? All of these congressional endorsements for DeSantis. Yeah, well, haven't seen any. DeSantis' campaign had 92 people listed as being on the payroll for at least some period of time during its first fundraising period, according to the campaign finance reports filed Saturday with the FEC. It is by far the most of any Republican presidential candidate, and has left his campaign with huge payroll expenses, and the new filings show fewer resources than originally thought. Why do you hire so many people? The only reason, again, like I said, the only way I could see this being the happening is because of they thought that Trump was just going to go away. They deluded themselves so much that they thought Americans would rally behind DeSantis. And they thought they had a free pass to the general. Just absolutely dumb. DeSantis has $12 million in the bank, but of that $3 million can be used only during the general. And about $14 million of his second quarter haul came from donors who gave the maximum legal amount. In other words, roughly 2/3 of his early donors will not be able to give directly to his campaign for the duration of the race. Yeah, you're screwed. Again, Trump's biggest advantage is, yes, he has some big donors, but he has such a large, small donor base that he's able to raise a lot of funds without, banking on this nonsense. And of course, the Never Back Down PAC will spend $200 million only to help DeSantis, but no other Republican has a significantly larger staff than the official campaign. What? This one PAC that supports DeSantis has a larger staff than his campaign? And already DeSantis had 90 staffers working for him, which is a lot. Oh my gosh, these people have way too much money and time on their hands. What am I supposed to say other than that? You have two campaigns, or one the campaign and one the super PAC, with that many staffers? The moment of potential reset comes ahead of a National Finance Committee meeting for DeSantis' campaign Sunday in Tallahassee, which will bring the campaign's brain trust together as they try to figure out how to chip into Trump's massive GOP primary lead. The event will include a brief at the campaign's Tallahassee headquarters, followed by a barbecue at the governor's mansion. So, yeah, this is a very suspicious time to do it right before you're going to have your meeting with all your people. Yeah, there are people grumbling about it, no doubt. One DeSantis donor said, "There's an overall sense, including with me, that he's just not has ignited the way we thought he would." Speaking about how DeSantis has lost ground on Trump. The person said that they think DeSantis' inner circle underestimated just how hard and expensive it would be to break the grip of the GOP base held by Trump, who has a commanding lead and is seen as the overwhelming frontrunner. Even in Florida, a state that re-elected DeSantis by nearly 20 points just 7 months ago, Trump now has his own 20-point lead on DeSantis, according to a Florida Atlantic University poll. I've been telling everybody for weeks, or at this point, months, that DeSantis' inner circle are some of the dumbest people you would ever meet. You can see a couple of them on Twitter, but they seriously believed they were going to take out Trump with no money. They seriously thought that was going to be just a free pass. Oh my goodness, this is wow. Wow. What can I say? What can I say other than I've said this for months. These people are morons. These people seriously believe the indictments will take out Trump. Guys, this idea that the indictments are 4D chess to, get Trump out of the way and give him the nomination, that's baloney. DeSantis' campaign, according to sources, they admit they're hoping for him to get indicted. They're hoping for him to get thrown in jail so he gets a nomination. What are you talking about, the 5D chess move? They're just trying to get him out of the picture. It's not working, it's backfiring horribly. The shakeup could include the reemergence of Phil Cox, the veteran Republican operator who helped run DeSantis' 2022 re-election campaign and served as an advisor to Never Back Down before stepping away from that role in late May. So, yeah, they're just going to try to figure out what to do. Try to somehow fix the campaign. And I mean, they're going to try to try and recenter his campaign is doubling down in the early states, especially Iowa, whose first in the nation nominating contest is now seen as a crucial marker. So, it's over. This campaign is blowing up already, and it's not even because, they suck. They're firing them because they're running out of money. So that's a double whammy. You're firing them, not because they suck, but because you're out of money. And that means you still have a lot of morons running this campaign, because it sounds like even who the donors think are the problem, well, they're still here. So, DeSantis, just drop out. At this point, it's going to take a freaking miracle to come back from this. You're already down 30 points. You're firing everybody. You're running out of money already. I mean, you read in between the lines, like this article said, a lot of these donations, they already hit the federal maximum. They're already maxed out. He has no small donors. Everybody's still going to Trump, even polling is showing he's continuing his surge. What does DeSantis have going for him? Remember those flood of endorsements for DeSantis? There's been none of that. None. Haven't had a single congressional endorsement that he's announced, I believe. I could be wrong, but he may have had one. Trump has had like 30 since he's announced. Just good job, DeSantis. Just good job of throwing away your frickin' career for this. I tried telling the DeSantis people, or people on Twitter, this is a mistake. He should never run. And again, I still think he's a great governor. I absolutely do. But it's done. It's over. You're not winning unless something crazy happens the next couple of months. Which it could, theoretically. But so far, everything they've thrown at Trump has only helped him. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.